Hey everyone, Mr. MC here. This is a guide for Sainte-Croix C in reverse with the Nissan MOTUL AUTECH GTR. And let's get this started by mentioning that we're on the racing soft tires. Brake balance is at 1 to the rear or +1. +2 also works as well. And apologies in advance for any background noise that is going on, as the neighbors are, I don't know what they're doing. But anyways, bring us up towards the left side of the track and you're braking after you pass the 50-meter board, just as the barrier on the left changes color. So quick burst of braking, start to turn in, trust the downforce and get under throttle as soon as you can. Then as the curb on the right ends, that's when you want to start to ease on the brakes. Just a little bit of braking, you're taking advantage of the downforce. Get under throttle as soon as you can. Then as the red and white barrier on the right ends, just use a little bit more braking. You're trying to fine tune the car's direction. Carefully get under throttle. Don't hit the barriers on the left. This left turn can be taken flat out. In the race, you want to actually do a little lift off of throttle. And just after you reach the apex of this right turn, that's when you want to start to brake. I brake just a little later so I can go deep and set myself up for the back straight. So you kind of just saw that right now, where I went a little deep into the hairpin. And make sure you don't get a track penalty before you reach the back straight, because you will have to serve a penalty here and it's going to cost you a boatload of time. So bring us up towards the right side of the track if you haven't done so yet. You're looking for the little building that is on the left. You're braking after you pass it. Use some of your braking power and start to turn in. Trust on the downforce once again. And just as you start to point towards the bridge, that's when you want to start to ease on the throttle. And you might need to control the throttle a bit to make sure you don't hit the wall. Bring us up towards the left, and just after the shadow on the right ends, that's when you can start to slow down. Just be nice and easy off of the brakes, getting on the throttle. It is possible to take that turn on third gear. Bring us up towards the right side of the track and you're going to brake just as the barriers on either side change. So right around here, this is where you start to slow down, and you want to be a little careful through here. Just nice and careful getting on the throttle on the downhill section. These couple of turns can easily be taken flat out. Stay on the left side of the track, and as you pass the Michelin signs, so this is more specifically the second one, that's when you want to start to slow down, brake hard for a short moment, quickly get on the throttle. Stay on the left side of the track. You can brake just after the curb on the left starts, or just as you reach the orange tents on the right. Brake hard for a short moment. And for this right turn, you want to be a little easier on the brakes, brake before the trees on the right end. So a bit similar to the last turn we just went through, but you're not as hard on the brakes. Bring us up towards the right. You're looking for the 100-meter board. You're going to brake before you pass it. Brake hard for a short moment. Nice and easy off of the brakes, as I've said that about 200 times already. And just carefully get on the throttle. Really easy to end up on the gravel if you're too aggressive on the throttle. Then look for the trucks that are on the left. You can brake just after you pass them. This is more of a quick burst of braking through this right turn. Bring us up towards the right. And just after this dark patch ends, that's when you want to start to slow down. Be a little easy getting on the throttle because you're going to be going down to first gear. Really easy on the throttle so you don't get too much wheel spin. And bring yourself towards the right side of the track. And for your last braking point, you're going to look for the 150-meter board, and you're going to slow down just after you pass it. So here's the 150-meter board. This is just before I start to slow down. Brake as much as you can. Get nice and close to the wall and get on the throttle as soon as you can. Take this right turn flat out, and that is pretty much it for the lap guide. So in a moment, we'll go through the race section of the guide where we quickly discuss the strategies. And for this race, we're doing 6 laps at Sainte-Croix C in reverse with the Group 2 cars. A lot of people got the memo that this is pretty much a MOTUL AUTECH GTR one-make race. A couple people did not get the memo. But anyways, fuel is a ×2, so fuel is not an issue at all. Tire wear is a ×5, so tire wear is somewhat of an issue. It mostly depends on how you're driving the car and if you're always under someone's dirty air. The racing soft and medium tires are available and required for this race, so make sure you use both tire compounds. So this is a pretty straightforward one-stop race for a tire change. Now, interestingly, it is possible to make the racing soft tires last 5 laps, so you pretty much only do 1 lap on the racing medium tires, but it'll once again depend on how you're driving the car. If you're always under someone's dirty air, 4 laps seems to be the sweet spot just before the tire wear really starts to kick in. So for the most part, if you can, try to go 4 laps on the racing soft tires, 5 laps if you're really good with tire management. And of course, if you're starting towards the very front, start on the racing soft tires to try to get away from everyone else. If you're starting closer towards the middle or the back of the pack, start on the racing medium tires to get rid of the slower tire compound, and you can potentially pit as early as the end of lap 1 to switch over to the racing soft tires or the end of lap 2. You pretty much just want to try to avoid traffic at all costs, because especially at a big track like Sainte-Croix C in reverse, the pace of those around you are going to be extremely different, which means that there could be a lot of clashing going on, and you want to avoid that so you don't end up losing too much time. And we'll take a quick look at the pit stop sequence. So just after the last turn, you want to bring yourself all the way to the left and you'll be entering the pit stop. So the pit loss for switching tires is going to be around 14 seconds, so it's not that big of a pit loss. However, just do be a little careful coming out of the pit stop, or if you're not pitting, be a little careful about others coming out of the pit stop, because yeah, you're going to be on the left side of the track getting ready for turn 1 and someone pops out of the pit stops, and yeah, you want to be a little careful, so hopefully you don't run into them. So get ready for a bit of evasive driving if you do come across someone coming out of the pit stops. And looking at the end of the race, so tire wear not too bad on the racing medium tires. We've done about 2 laps on the racing medium tires, and we're going to end up getting a 19 minutes and 4 seconds, so around a 19-minute daily race C, depending on how fast your lobby is. Fuel, not an issue once again. Tire wear, not really an issue. You want to pit just after the halfway point, so laps 4 or 5. And what in the world is he doing up there? And something I want to note is that there are many high-speed sections of the track, which means that it can be kind of easy to get past one, but also kind of difficult depending on when you're about to pass them. So if you're under someone's slipstream, you're going to easily catch up to them, even more so if they're not under anyone's slipstream. But the thing is that the top speeds of these cars, they're kind of similar when under and when not under slipstream. So if you're trying to get past someone towards the end of the long back straight, it's going to be pretty difficult because you're not going much faster than the car that you're trying to pass. So let's say if you're early on in the back straight that we just recently went through, it is definitely possible to get the pass done, but later on the back straight it becomes a bit more difficult. But anyways, that's going to be it for this guide. Once again, one-stop race, use both the racing medium and soft tires, and that's it. So thank you guys for the support. Thank you to Playseat for supporting the channel as well. I'm gonna sign off now. So this is Mr. CA, wishing you a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and I'll see you all in the next video.